This is Greg Troutwine with Maritime Reporter TV, and we're here again today with Captain Andrew Kinsey, Allianz Global Corporate and Specialty, to discuss Allianz's recent Safety and Shipping Review 2021, and more specifically, the long-term consequences of COVID-19 and the crew change crisis. So Andrew, to start, the seafarer crisis and the inability to get on and off ships efficiently has been well covered nearly 18 months later, but it's still not resolved. Can you give our viewers an update of where we are today?
Happy to, Greg. Unfortunately, there is little to no progress, but continued frustration. Really, that's what we're looking at as the current situation. The most recent news, in addition to a Maersk captain being arrested in Australia for dragging anchor. So the continual frustration with the seafarer that, we get blamed for everything, but do we get the credit, is that most recently HMM unions on the container carrier voted to go on strike. And as of today's news, they are scheduled to go on strike on all the vessels as of the 25th of August. And this is just highlights the frustration that crews are feeling as shipping companies are making, or container shipping companies are making record profits. They are still stranded on board.
The recently released AGCS report specifically notes the impact on the health and well-being of seafarers. Can you give some specifics on the impacts that you have seen to date?
Yes, and it's a problem with getting reliefs in and getting signed on crew off, but it's also just a problem getting a seafarer ashore for dental or medical treatment. They've been on board for over a year in many cases now, and the difficulties in just refilling prescriptions, much less scheduling doctor's appointments, given the current conditions where it's a lockdown. You have seafarers going without required medical treatment. So it's getting to the point where it's jeopardizing their health and well-being.
We've been covering this obviously since it started. And a lot of the discussion has centered around future potential impacts. And while I know it's impossible to predict the future, what do you see as some of the long-term problems resulting from the inability to efficiently enact crew changes due to COVID?
Well, the key to my success at sea was the crews that I had to work with. If you want a safe ship, you make a safe ship. And the key to that is retention. You retain your crew on board, you train them for the next job you want them to do the way you want them trained. And what's happening now is not only are we discouraging a new generation of seafarers of getting attracted to the industry, we're burning out the ones who are on board. So not only will there be a shortage of entry-level seafarers, there'll be a shortage of experienced seafarers because they are not going to return, or they're stranded ashore and they're finding other employment. This will have a negative effect on vessel safety, and it will also have a negative effect on profits. Right now, we see container shipping lines generating record freight rates. We see the Baltic Index at its highest level since 2008. And if the vessel operators don't understand the implications of their current malfeasance, it is going to disintegrate.
As you know, there have been many voices globally calling for a resolution to this problem. From where you sit, what can be done today to help put this crisis in the rearview mirror?
All stakeholders need to be engaged in this. It can't just be a shell game of blaming shadow companies that operate vessels. The U.S. Department of Labor defines a sweatshop as any factory that violates 2 or more labor laws. Every major international corporation, be it Nike, Adidas, anyone who produces anything, be it solar panels to apparel, has corporate governance that addresses policy outlining sustainability of vendors and their direct suppliers. This same approach needs to be put to the components of the supply chain that gets their major products and direct vendor deliverables to them. So that's where we need the buy-in. We need the buy-in of the people who are shipping the goods, not just the companies that own the vessels and crew them.
Okay. Andrew, as always, we appreciate your time and your perspective. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Greg.